Okay, we're going to cover some old news that ties into new politics here in America. Back in 2001, Tyson Foods, that's Big Chicken, the largest meat producer and processor, Tyson Foods, was indicted in a plan to smuggle illegal workers. At the time, 6 employees, including 2 executives, were accused of arranging to transport illegal immigrants across the border and help them get counterfeit work papers for jobs at more than a dozen Tyson poultry plants. Back in 2001, the indictment came just months after Tyson acquired IBP, which was the nation's largest beef processor, in a deal that created a $20 billion company that dominated the meat counter at supermarkets and became a leading supplier to fast food restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King. Immigration is obviously a complex issue, but the deal with the meat industry is it all comes down to meeting production and profit goals. And this even appeared in the indictment. It said, to meet production and profit goals, Tyson officials would contact local human traffickers, smugglers, that's what we're talking about. Smugglers to get people across the border near its plants to get more workers. The recruiters would contact with smugglers in Mexico who would round up people willing to work for Tyson because, let's face it, not that many people are willing to work in slaughterhouses. Not that many blue-collar Americans want those jobs. They have a very high turnover rate of people working in slaughterhouses because those jobs suck so bad. So the indictment said that Tyson officials would then arrange to meet the workers along the border once they were smuggled in illegally and transport them to the meat processing plants to work. So fast forward to 2003, and you can see that Tyson Foods is not fitting to go down on some federal charges. Jury clears Tyson Foods in the use of illegal immigrants. Basically, all the charges that were brought against Tyson Foods were acquitted. The smuggling of illegal immigrants and the helping them counterfeit documents, trying to bring them in to work in the poultry houses, acquitted on all charges. That's how Tyson Foods makes things happen. Boom, 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 just like that. Fast forward to 2017, and we can see how this news story about Tyson Foods and their smuggling charges has come up in American politics once again. The Republican candidate for governor in the state of Virginia in 2017 is a man named Ed Gillespie. Ed Gillespie was a consultant, or as we'll see, perhaps a lobbyist for Tyson Foods back during the time of the scandal. So, according to Ed Gillespie's people, this is a false attack. He was not a lobbyist for Tyson Foods, and what they say is that his law firm, Quinn Gillespie, was hired by Tyson Foods, quote, for public affairs consulting, not lobbying. And that's where I think the dispute comes in. It's a fact that he was being paid by Tyson Foods. The dispute comes in on the terminology that they use to describe what kind of services Ed Gillespie was providing to Tyson Foods. So obviously Ed Gillespie is trying to put as much distance between himself and the Tyson chicken immigration scandal of the early 2000s as possible. And the reason this story got drug up again is because they claimed that he wasn't a lobbyist. They claimed that he was just a consultant. And it was reported that Tyson Foods paid $1.14 million to Quinn Gillespie and Associates, that's Ed Gillespie's law firm, and he was listed as a lobbyist on the account according to the Senate Lobbying Disclosure Database. So technically he was listed as a lobbyist, but he was only providing consulting services according to his campaign. And I just want to highlight that again. According to the Department of Justice, Tyson Foods cultivated a corporate culture in which the hiring of illegal alien workers was to maximize profits. I'll put the links in the description if you're interested in these stories or you want to get some background information on it yourself. Honestly, if you ask me, Republicans, Democrats, they're basically all the same. They're in the same frat with big chicken squawking over top of them. That's just how it works, man. Tyson Chicken's not going to go down on some federal charges. You're talking about the biggest meat processor in the country? They're not worried about some charges. They got top tier, the best lawyers money can buy. The people that they got listed as their lobbyists are running for governor 10 years later. That's the kind of power that these people have at their fingertips. So, I'm just saying, man, politics, it's not going to change anything. The way you make change is you change the way you eat. You change the way you live. You change the way you treat people. And that's real.